All right, we're back. Another episode of Walk and Talk Fast. I think we're at number 4 right now. This one is an HSL basketball edition, a power rankings edition, week 5. We just wrapped up week 4 of HSL basketball, and let's go through the power rankings. A lot of moving pieces throughout both tiers. A couple of shockers and a couple of, predictable games. So let's start with tier 2. Coming in at spot number 5 is advanced power controls. I think it's pretty much a given by now that when advanced power controls shows up with 5 guys, they're probably going to lose by 20 plus. As it is, they're a bit of an older team. They run out of gas quick. When they show up with 7-8 guys in a decent roster, they do have the pieces in Mayrove and Jake Byrne and Bromberg and a couple other players to keep them in games and keep them competitive. And we saw that with actually a win and a couple other competitive losses. However, both games they showed up with 5 or less. Really not competitive. I think they ended up losing by 12 or 13 points, maybe even 14 points to Crown Care. They scored like 4 points all second half, and again, that's due to running out of energy, running out of steam. So they're coming at 5. Coming in at number 4 and continuing to really drop down the power rankings is Mava Capital. Mava Capital, another loss. They're now 1-3. They lost to Barbacoa by 10 points. Sorry for the noise, part of the Walk and Talk Fast. Mava Capital, after blowing a blowout win in their first game, have now dropped 3 straight and are hanging on to the last spot in the 4th spot out of 5 teams. They're tied, but they have the tiebreaker due to beating advanced power controls. They come in at 4 at 1-3. Yuri, shout out, fantastic game, but ultimately they came up short. Coming at 3 and also dropping down the power ranking, Clutch Auto Trade. Since their fast start, Clutch Auto Trade has dropped 3 out of the last 4, and they fall to 2-3. They also lost to Barbacoa, as Barbacoa got 2 wins this week. We'll get to that in a second. And they get the 3 in the power rankings. Coming in at number 2 in the power rankings, all of a sudden, Crown Care, 3-2 now. A big win on Thursday night, as we talked about before. They're playing, like I said last week, they're playing the best basketball I've seen them play so far in HSL. They're in every game. They're winning games. They're moving the ball well. Prager's a bucket. Zalman Pollock is a machine when he gets going. JT and Tuvia, and they got a really, really solid roster. The Jubal boys are out to play this season. Second place, I think, as of today, they're by far the outside of Barbacoa, which we'll get to. They're the team to beat. I think they're a very solid amount of distance between the top 2 seeds and the 3, 4, and 5 in tier 2. We'll see if it proves me right or not. That's just the way they've been playing. So we'll see how that rolls out. And coming in at number 1, and I believe the best team in tier 2 by a decent margin right now is Barbacoa. If Barbacoa had size, like legit size, like 2 real big men, I think they could compete in tier 1. However, they don't, so I think they would get crushed in tier 1. However, I'm not trying to hate on Barbacoa too much. They won 2 games this week. They're 4-0, and they're in the driver's seat, really, for the 1 seed, which means they'll play the 4 seed in the semis, and hopefully give them an easier ticket for their sake to the championship. So shout out Barbacoa. They've really been dominating tier 2 so far. Dominating in the sense where they haven't lost. Win's a win. There has been a few close games. I think they won a couple by 10-12, a couple by 1 or 2. Overall, tier 2 has been going amazing, and there's your tier 2 power rankings. All right, now for tier 1. Now, I hate to do this. There are a lot of teams at the bottom right now who have been actually playing pretty decent ball for being at the bottom. It's very complicated. It's probably the hardest I had to choose between all the power rankings. Coming in at 10, in my opinion, and this might come as a huge surprise, I think it's got to be Cobra Rentals. And I'll tell you why. Yes, they beat Olin Realty. It was probably the biggest upset of the season. Now, granted, Olin Realty played a game before, but they've looked ugly in their other 2 games, including their past game against the former 10 in the power rankings, P4P, where they really got outmatched. It looked like they were in another weight class. They're living and dying by the 3 ball, which, again, is fine if you're hitting your 3s, but they weren't, and they were down 15 almost all game, and they lost, and it was pretty brutal. So for now, I love you, Ezra Kolsky, HSL. But for now, you guys are in 10. They have a big test coming up against Rise to Fly this week, so let's see if they make any headway with that. Coming in at number 9, and again, a very tough number 9 is Boris M. Tax Planning and Vent Wealth. Although 0-3, they are... Sorry for the interruption here. Although 0-3, Boris M. Tax Planning lost a couple of really close games against a couple of super good teams. Rides to Fly, Silver Key Realty. So another very tough 9, but yet 9 nonetheless for Boris M. in Wealth. Coming in at 8 is FM Home Loans. You know, our half-setter, FM Home Loans. You know, Jake Tveer, my boy, love him. Love the vibes, love the energy, love the passion. They're not going to win with 5 guys in this league. Now, yeah, we might not be JSL. Not yet, no, Aaron. However, Jack Ross, however, showing with 5 guys ain't going to do it. They might beat up on a couple of the bottom teams, but they've got blown out multiple times with 5 guys. They also have one blowout over P4P. And this past week, you know, it was an 8-9 point game against another team, which we'll get to in a minute, who's really not much of a powerhouse. They're athletic, they're young, they're good, but, you know, they were steadily down 7 to 10 points almost all of the game. They made a late push at the end, but ended up dropping by 10 or so. They come in at number 8 as we are approaching the house, so let's stay on the porch. Coming in at number 7, Altbank, Caleb Pollen. They get their first dub of the season, important dub. They go to 1-2. They had that very impressive win over FM Home Loans, our Hofstetter. Caleb Pollen shot really well, played really well. Levine had a great game. Miller with a great game. Overall, great performance from the boys. They bring a lot of hype and energy, and we appreciate them, and we love them. They've fallen at number 7. I'm sorry. I just paused it. I went back and looked. So that was number 6. So if I messed up 8 and 7 and 7 and 6, well, I got you. Caught it. So they come in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, another shocker. And get ready, world. Olam Realty coming in at 5. Now, yes, they've lost 2 games. They've won 1. One was without their whole team. One was with their whole team playing a back-to-back championship game. But I don't see that same oomph, not yet at least, as I saw in the winter. I just don't see it. You know, missing your whole team for 1 game, having guys not show up because the rest of the team isn't there. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I buy into that. Olam has a freaking phenomenally talented team. Elad is a freak of nature. Their bigs are big. Roberts is one of the best, if not the best coach around. But I haven't seen them put it together. They're 1-2. They had a big dub over Silver Key, but I need to see more consistency and honestly more passion. You know, again, not a lot you can do when you have a championship game beforehand, but I would love to see Olam come out and string together a couple big dubs. They're in a soft spot on their schedule, and I think they could quickly get bumped up. But for now, they come in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Ellie Dax Music, Plumber Haven. Now, Ellie Dax Music, Plumber Haven, Sea Winter came again last night, which is Thursday night. Plays another game. They've now played 2 out of 3 for Ellie Dax. And when Winter plays, they're a different team. You know, Sea Winter put up 30 points last night. I think he put up 25 in the second half of the game beforehand, where they beat Altbank. Last night they played the depleted Vly Vipers, and it showed the Vly Vipers were depleted. Winter and Shimmy David had unbelievable games. Unbelievable. Super talented games. And like I said, it showed the Vly Vipers missing guys, and I would say Ellie Dax Music, Plumber Haven, did what they had to do. And, you know, good for them, getting the win, taking advantage of beating a very good team. They go to 2-1, and they're in a very solid spot heading into the 5 weeks left. Coming in at number 3, we got Silver Key Realty. Now, Silver Key Realty is a very tough team. They're a new team to the league. We love them. They bring great energy, great passion. Very well-rounded team. Very well-rounded team. Their ball movement is great. They've been playing together for years. Silver Key just came off of a very big, close win over Boris M. Invent Wealth, 75-73. A very impressive win, a very impressive squad. They got some lethal shooting. They got really, really big guys inside. Of course, they have Jason, who wasn't even there on Sunday, and they still got the dub. Very deep team as well. They come in at number 3. They did lose to Olam Realty week 1, and, you know, they happen to get the softest schedule where they don't need to play a Vly Vipers or, which we're getting to right now, a Rides to Fly. Coming in at number 2 is Rides to Fly. Rides to Fly, after coming off of probably their most embarrassing loss in their HSL career, bounced back with a much, much needed victory. Rides to Fly with a big dub over the Olam Realty squad with no regulars other than Ben Roberts. Another what I would call must win for Rides to Fly. They get it. They go to 3-1. and they're in a good spot. And coming in at number 1, and although they did lose by 15 points, when the Fly Vipers got everyone there, they're the team to beat. And honestly, I don't think it's too close. So let's see how that pans out. Dylan's put together a fantastic squad, an amazing squad. They did lose this past week to go to 3-1. However, they're missing, I think, their 3 best ball handlers for sure. Probably 3 of the top 5, 10 best ball handlers in all the league. So, can anyone beat Dylan when he has his regular squad for the playoffs? I don't think so. I honestly don't think it'll be close, like I just said. Now, will their whole squad be there for the playoffs? It's a different story. I'm not sold yet on the commitment. So, there's your Tier 1 power rankings. Disclaimer, Tier 1, Tier 2, nothing's personal. This is just how I see the players' game, the players play, and the game, the team, and the camaraderie. Love all you guys. Appreciate all you guys. Don't take things too personal. If I did insult any one of you and you think it's personal, feel free to reach out. Just know this is just all the way I bring hype to the league. I love the league, and it is honest. I'm not lying about anything. This is what I see, but I'm not trying to stir anything up. So thanks, guys, for watching. Don't know when this will get posted, whether it'll be right before Shabbos, or whether it'll be Motzei Shabbos, or Sunday, or whatever this double Gottlieb gets around to it. But there's Walk and Talk, I think episode 4 or 5, Walk and Talk Fast. Thanks for tuning in.